the button, you can do your Wanda.
I'm ready to go. Let's go right now.
We've had way too much in living color talk before the show started. Welcome to another edition of Table Talk. I am Mo Lightning. To my left is the lovely Lindsey. Make sure to compliment her on her hair.
Please. I just, I spent a lot of money on it, so have a look.
Yeah. And then below us, make sure to compliment him on his hair as well. The WWE Hall of Famer, Dvon, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Just one day at a time, getting through all of this craziness that's going on in the world today. And I guess it's been building up. So, it's a little crazy out there. And my TV has been stuck on certain channels. So
waiting for updates, is that what you mean?
Waiting for updates, just waiting to see where this damn thing goes. I mean, God, it's just
waiting for the map of the US to get a little bit more color. I get you.
Well, whatever it is, I just, hopefully we can just narrow this sucker down and get on with our lives and start healing the world.
Absolutely. Now, what we try to do here on Table Talk is help you with that escapism from everything going on. So we're going to have some fun. We have a guest we're going to bring on in just a moment. If you have questions, comments, anything for us or our guests, leave them in the comments. And if you're watching on demand, keep in mind that we go live every Wednesday afternoon on the streams, the wrestling audio streams of Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. With that said, Dvon, what does WWE stand for?
Well, let me see. It could stand for a lot of things, but let me see. Well, I remember at one point it stood for the World Wrestling Entertainment. And even before that, when they got rid of the E and it was an F, it was World Wrestling Federation. But now I think it might take on a new logo. And that new logo and new saying, I should say, is Walk with Elias.
Ladies and gentlemen, the former 24/7 champion, his new album, Universal Truth, is available now, iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you stream your music. Welcome to Table Talk, Elias.
Hey, Elias.
Hello, I am Elias. Dvon, you got me nervous there for a second. I thought he's not going to know. He's not going to know. He's going to ruin the whole introduction. But you nailed it, man. You nailed it.
Brother, I would never, ever do that to you, brother. I mean, come on. You and I have got so much history, and I don't think, a lot of people know, we've met before you became the WWE, so I cannot mess up an introduction like that from the main man, Elias.
That's, dude, that is a great story, whether you want to tell it or me. First things first, though, Lindsey, your hair looks great.
Thank you so much.
You got to put that out there. Mo, Mo, I'm not going to leave you out of it. Your voice is sounding fantastic today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, of course. But Dvon, me and you, man, I can remember clearly the first time. It was probably a bigger deal to me than it was to you, but I don't know if we want to go into that. I'll let you guys lead this interview.
No, we can definitely go into it. I was when I was still wrestling, still active. I was at an independent wrestling show, and I met a certain individual now we call Elias. And I was wrestling Elias that night. And
was he heavy metal Jesus at that time?
I was.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. And I remember finally, I'm getting dressed in my little corner, and he comes over and introduces himself. And I said, "Okay, kid." I'm like the big veteran. "Okay, kid, what do you want to do?" And he just goes, they might look at me as a baby face, they like me here and blah, blah, blah. So I'm looking at him like, well, shit, I'm Dvon Dudley. I mean, come on. So I just looked at it. I said, I was like, yeah, either way, man. I said, heel or baby face, whatever you want to do. I said, but, I am Dvon. I felt like Bubba at that point. I was putting myself over.
Yeah.
And so I basically just told him, I said, hey, listen, let's do it one way. And if it changes, we'll go another route. Yeah. So he says, okay. So I said, right now, I'll be the baby face. You be the heel. He says, fantastic. We go out there and we start doing the things. We get our entrance and everything. We get the cheers, whatever. All of a sudden, we did the first lockup, and you got these hecklers down in the front that thought they were ECW fans. marks, and they started heckling me. And then they got other people to join in, and then they started pushing for Elias. And I went, "This son of a bitch, what the?" And I just remember locking up with him again. I said, "Change, we're changing forces."
Yep.
He's like, "Oh shit." He goes, "Okay." I was like, "Don't worry, kid. Listen to me. We'll guide you through it." Freaking, we tore the match down, tore it down, and then, I grabbed the mic and I put over the town that we were in. Thank you for bringing me in and this and that. And I told Elias, don't leave this ring. I said, after being in the ring with you, you've showed me without a doubt that you have everything it takes to make it in the big leagues. And I'm going to tell you this. I said, one day I'm going to see you in the WWE. And when I do, I'll probably be an agent at that time. And I'll be more than proud and happy to agent your match. Why? Because I believe that you have it in you to be up there. If not now, then definitely by the time I get back up there. I said, so my brother, this ain't goodbye. This is see you later. See you later on a different level, on a level that you will shine. I'll put it out there, and I'm never wrong. And it's funny, Elias comes in. Now, I don't remember this in terms of when he came in. I didn't remember that was him. I just remember meeting him for the first time, and that was it. Elias never told me about that incident until I walked in to the arena one day, and I looked at Elias, and Elias said, I have your match. And he was like, do you really? And he's like, yeah. I was like, I got to tell you something. That's when he told me the story. And I went, what?
Yeah.
And it was just like Nostradamus, Here it is. I predicted that he was going to be there. He was going to be on top, and he was going to be a major superstar before he even got there. And that I was going to be one of his producers for his match. And sure enough, if it didn't play out that way.
Yep. Dude, I got goosebumps right now, man, because it's just so crazy. And anybody, if they doubt that, it's on YouTube. You can go look that up because that's how I've seen it back over the years. Everything Dvon just said is totally true. Things changed on the spot. I just listened to him. He led me through what ended up being an awesome match in front of a cool crowd there. And he got on the mic and he said exactly that. And I remember walking into Monday Night Raw a couple, however many years later that would be, 4 years later, maybe something like that. And Dvon, exactly what he said. He was producing my match. He's got my match. And I said, dude, I don't know if you remember this, but
yep, sure did.
And told the story, and there it was. So wow. Yeah, really cool, man. Really cool.
And I remember when he told me that, I was literally taken back. Because there are people that I've met over the years. And yes, they were in WWE. They came later on. Xavier Woods talked about it and things like that. But for me to make a prediction like that back then, because I saw what Elias had, I knew what he was capable of, and being in the ring with him, and him not panicking to that degree where he did listen and we did go through it. And it wasn't just me; it was him as well, because he knew how to go out there and to switch of gears. And not too many people in this generation can do that. That's the part that's scary, that Elias knew. And when I say scary, I mean scary in a way where this new generation, they don't know how to do that. Elias was one of the ones that did. This is why I always say, never leave your wrestling school prematurely. Stay in there as long as you possibly can. Learn every craft of the game, because in the end, it'll pay off. Don't try to leave before your time. Elias didn't. Elias stayed, sacrificed, did whatever he had to do, pay his dues, and look at him now.
Yeah, man. Dude. Well, I guess that's the interview, because it's not going to get any better than that, right?
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah,
hold on. It might get better. It might get better, because I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, not for that match, for beating the hell out of Jeff Hardy. Do you understand how bad Jeff Hardy used to mess with me in that ring, and especially knowing I was afraid of heights and always trying to kick me? Every time you beat Jeff Hardy's ass, I'm sitting up there going,
Yep. I'm doing it a little extra just for you when I'm in there, man. I know what he's done to you. I've heard the stories.
Oh,
let me close this blind here. I don't want the sun shining too bright here.
That's all the angels coming down with more praise.
Well, it's weird. You said heavy metal Jesus, and all of a sudden the light starts shining through on it.
It's meant to be.
I am a reverend, so
that's right.
There you go.
There we go, man. Yeah, what I mean, dude, I couldn't have asked for a better experience working my way, and it was only months later that I had got the call from WWE. So to kind of have that experience right before you step into NXT at the time, but just a WWE contract was invaluable, if that's the right term there, man. It just really, really good for me, man. And again, now that I get to work with you and pick your brain here and there when we put matches together, whatever it is. It's just so cool, man. I'm also, I thank you for everything you do.
Oh, thank you, man. Like I said, it's been a pleasure. It really, really has. And but you brought up NXT. How long were you in NXT before you came up to the main roster?
That's interesting. A lot of people think I was just like there for a few months and then showed up on Monday Night Raw, but I was actually there for 3 years and maybe 2 months. I came in there, and then it was about, you had probably seen the shell of who I was, and now it was about filling it out and figuring out the character and who I was and how I wanted to present myself to a worldwide audience. So that took some time, and I had some injuries. I broke my tibia in a match with Andrade at one point. So there was a process there, but once I became the Drifter in NXT, and I started singing songs before my matches, that's really when all of a sudden it was like the crowds got louder, the crowds got bigger. All of a sudden Elias is in the main events of NXT and traveling a lot more, stuff like that. Till then, Monday Night Raw, I can remember Triple H calling me aside and saying, okay, now the hard work begins, at that point. So, yeah, so I was there for a couple years for sure.
Got a great question from Brian here. I would imagine as a fan, it was Seattle, at least heel heat. What's the biggest reaction you've had for any segment you've been a part of?
So for anything, geez. Now, Seattle is absolutely up there because they booed for such a long time and so powerfully. In fact, I couldn't even do anything at one point. I remember just setting my wrist and my hand across my guitar and being like, okay, I'm just going to let it out because they are upset with me. But I got to tell you, I'm so just blessed to be able to do what I do and be able to play with the crowd when we have a live crowd. There was a time in Buenos Aires where I started singing a song that was very special to this country that I actually had no idea how special it was. And the entire arena sang it with every ounce of energy they had. They sang that song at the top of their lungs with me in the middle of the crowd. I actually did post that on my Instagram whenever that happened. But it had to be one or the other for sure. Maybe as a bad guy, the Seattle, and as a good guy, Buenos Aires.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I'll have to go back into the archives. I'll scroll a little bit, see if I can find that. But
something to see. I promise you, it's something to see. Yeah.
That's amazing. I love that. Got another question. Speaking of you guys working together, Noel wants to know favorite match that Dvon's produced for you.
Man, okay. I don't know if he's going to remember this, but there was I want to say like a 6-pack challenge on Monday Night Raw where, maybe Jason Jordan, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel, possibly Jeff Hardy. I can't even remember everybody at the time, but I remember having so much fun in that match. And Dvon, he can produce any genre of matches, but it seems like when multi people start getting involved, he just got these ideas and things like that. And I can just remember we did that match. We had Dvon in our side. We come back, and the big guy, the boss, is very happy with it. He's very happy with me. I got Dvon to thank for his input there. So that one kind of stands out to me.
I do kind of remember that one. And, again, there's always that plus when you know that Vince is happy, especially when you do some gaga in a match and he doesn't think it's too crazy.
Of course.
But yet he understands and he agrees that it's all good. So I'm kind of like, I do remember that match. And it was a great time. And, again, I've learned, over the years, I've been doing producing now for 4 years, and it is totally different from being a talent. So when you're in that producer's chair and you have all of these different ideas, and then you have talent's ideas, and you have to combine all of that together and make sure that all of it makes sense. And then on top of that, you have to make sure that the boss likes it, because just because you like it and talent likes it doesn't mean the boss is going to like it.
Definitely
So
not.
now you have to go back and talk to the boss and see if he likes it. But I think this one I took a chance on, because I just remember we did some crazy stuff in there where I was just like, well, either two things are going to happen. Either he's going to like it or I'm going to get sent home.
Yep. Absolutely. And he liked it. So
And
he paid off, man.
And he liked it. Yep.
It doesn't always go that way, but it did
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah, I think the Jesus and the Reverend got together and put that together, and I think it all worked.
That's right. It's a good combo. It's a good
Yes, absolutely.
Now, the randomness of table talk allows us to just pick these oddball questions, like this one from Dylan, who wants to know the most underrated Thanksgiving food and the most overrated Thanksgiving food.
This is just for me, or is this for the whole?
We'll
Lindsey
do the
hasn't
whole
said
group,
too much.
but
so
you
I'm
are our
wondering-
guest of honor.
I just like to
Well,
listen.
yeah, it's just you.
Okay. Geez, I feel like I'm going to get hate for this. For me personally, turkey is overrated. Okay. That's like, it's like the go-to, right? It's okay. I enjoy it, but like, that's not the main thing I look forward to. I'm into like the stuffing and those, all that kind of stuff there. Underrated. That's so difficult because let me think here. You guys want to throw out some ideas of food that's around on Thanksgiving?
Well, I don't know if I know in my household, I usually macaroni and cheese. You don't hear that a lot, you know, in Thanksgiving. I like to have it every year in my house.
Is it like a baked?
It's a baked macaroni and cheese from scratch, and it's phenomenal. Listen, I'm a huge macaroni and cheese lover. I love it. I'm like the kid when it comes to that stuff. But again, I think that's so underrated that again, not everybody loves it. You know?
Yeah. I see maybe Byron just posted a comment here. Pumpkin pie is highly overrated. I actually agree with that as well. I'm not a big pumpkin pie guy, but it seems to be like that's a thing people really look forward to on Thanksgiving.
I think I got to admit I like pumpkin pie. I'm a pumpkin pie.
Okay.
Go up my grandmother, God rest her soul. She made it from scratch, and no one made pumpkin pie like her.
When it's that.
Oh my God, it was phenomenal. But Patti LaBelle, the great singer Patti LaBelle, has a pie. I believe it's pumpkin pie. That it's out, and it is phenomenal. It comes very close to my grandmother's, and oh my God,
we should try it.
Yeah, you really should.
We should just try it.
And it's in the local supermarkets everywhere.
I thought she cooked it for you.
Yeah.
You know what?
I thought she baked it for you. I thought you're like,
Patty LaBelle baked it right now.
I was at her house.
Patty LaBelle made
Patty
me
LaBelle
think
came to my house.
You said it no nonchalantly, like, Do you guys have the little finger foods at the table too? Like we always have like olives or cream cheese on celery. Those are my favorite. It's a little.
No, nobody does that.
Well, I think
I'm going to jump in there. We do that.
Yeah, we do that too. I do it too.
Deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs is the big one.
Stuffed mushrooms.
That's my favorite.
The only thing I don't like about the deviled eggs is that when you make it like the night before, you put it in the refrigerator, then you get up in the morning, open up the refrigerator, and that smell just hits you. It's like somebody puked in your refrigerator.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, you know what, Elias? We were talking about the food and Thanksgiving and all of that, but one question I do have to ask, and I never asked you this because I always wanted to. Who trained you? Where'd you train? Where'd you train out of?
So let me tell you. First off, I trained out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. There's like a school there called IWC Wrestling School, and the main people that worked with me were a wrestler by the name of Shirley Doe, Hentai, and Shima Zion was his name. He's currently in NXT under Joaquin Wilde, if you know him. But then, so I was there to get started, and then actually for a few months before I was with you, I would go down on the weekends. I wasn't booked to Louisville, and I trained with Rip Rogers.
Oh, okay, Rip Rogers, who a lot of people for those that are listening and on the panel that don't know, Rip Rogers has helped a lot of people over the years and have been very successful, even during the Attitude Era. There's been a lot of guys during the Attitude Era that Rip Rogers basically helped train and to get them ready. So that explains a lot, because he is definitely an old school guy who will teach you how to call stuff in the ring without having to call it in the back and have a match like that, and to make sure that you knew. And if you didn't, he'd stretch you. That was the old way of doing things.
Yeah.
Stretch the hell out of you.
That's absolutely it too, man. And I got to say, like, you meet certain people, on your way to wherever you're going, and you continue to, as you're learning, as I do, that just kind of like help take you to the next step in your career. And getting with Rip Rogers and doing that, where you have to do everything in the ring and just call it. And he would say, hey, you, 30 minutes or something like that. He would just call it out, and you just had to do it. And you had to adapt right there. That's the kind of training that I didn't have early on. That's, early on you learn the moves and how to fall and everything like that. But then later on is when I really learned how to work for, I don't know how much we even say on this show, but how to like work and do things like that. That really helped me out. Like when I got into the ring with a guy like you, it was like, okay, no sweat. This is what I've been training for. And all I got to do is listen, So.
Yep. And I mean, hell, if you ever watch me in my whole career, if I'm a baby face, I do the same freaking comeback for the past 25 years. I never changed it. Bubba, it was funny because me and Bubba got into a little tiff about it one day, and he goes, Dvon, if you're going to do the comeback, you need to change things up. And I was just like, well, I don't want to change things up. I get a response every time I do the same thing. I'm like, I don't want to change things up. So I remember going to Teddy Long one day, and he goes, what's up, player? And I just went, well, I'm just trying to get something together in my head. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, well, I'm wrestling such and such, and I got the hot tag. I'm going to do I got the hot tag and everything. And I go, Bubba thinks I should change it up a little bit. And he said, Dvon, let me tell you something. When you look at Stone Cold Steve Austin, do you know his comeback? I said, well, hell yeah. He goes, is it over? I go, yeah. He goes, what about The Rock? He goes, is his comeback? I said, hell yeah. Does he change it up? I go, no. He goes, then why the hell are you changing it up? He goes, man. unless they don't respond, keep doing what you're doing. From that point on, I never changed anything and got the response that I always wanted. Just as long as I brought the intensity, that's all that mattered.
Yeah, man. I mean,
that's all that mattered.
The live crowd will always tell you, right? Like they'll always let you know. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it, which is actually that kind of lets you to, it's like a weird time right now with the crowd and everything like that. But, that live audience is just, it's the perfect gauge of, are you doing the right thing or not? And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And you've proven that, you know what I mean? Bring the intensity, you can do whatever.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you, being that we're in this pandemic right now, and there are no fans, we have the virtual fans, and WWE tries to put the fans into the arena for us as they're watching it on virtual screening. How do you feel about now everything that's going on? Have you adjusted yet? Is it still foreign to you? Is it strange?
Yeah, it's a little interesting to me. So I've only been back on Raw or in the Thunderdome for like 4 weeks here. One of those weeks was a concert, like an actual live concert. Another one was I smashed Jeff Hardy with a guitar and just cut like a backstage promo. And now I've been doing the in-ring performances that I normally do. And that was it's just very interesting because I'm pretty much out there. I'm a guy that almost exclusively works with the live crowd in my entrance, in my opening shtick, when I strum the guitar and I play off them and I react off them. So you almost have to create your own reactions or the way you want to in the meantime. It's definitely an adjustment period, but I think there's opportunity to like have like new moments occur because of this.
And I think a lot of fans, the talent in the back are saying exactly what you're saying. It's a little weird, it's a little awkward, but you have to adjust. Now, when you did your concert, was it this past week or the week before on Raw? How did you feel? Like I heard you. I was there. I was live. I heard it. The fireworks, everything that was in there. It was freaking. It was amazing. How was when you got done playing your first song and you were like, "Thank you, ladies." I mean, could you really hear the people cheering? Could you hear them?
Yeah, okay, so I could hear them. You know what I mean? But that was actually really cool. That was no problem because I was just playing songs that I had written straight through as a great. Oh, I say it was great. That's my own ego, but I mean, as just like a musical performance, right? Where it's different there. So that's fine. That's all good. But it's really different when you're in the crowd and I might be strumming the guitar and say a line that I know is going to sting or get the crowd fired up or whatever it may be. And that's different. So when I did the concert, it was a totally different thing. And I loved that I was able to do that in the Thunderdome and just have the pyro and the lasers and the light and the whole band. That's how I see Elias, just leading the band right there. But then when I'm in the ring on my own, it's like I want to pause for reactions and give them the right time. But, it's an interesting scenario out there. Mm-hmm.
Now, when you're going city to city, regardless of the pandemic and the Thunderdome, and you're going to have the opportunity to strum and strike some chords with the crowd, how long does it take you to write something like that?
Yeah, it's it really depends, man. Sometimes I could go to sleep the night before knowing the city I'm going to, and I know all the things I want to hit. Okay. Other times it'll be an hour before I go out live and I'll be talking to a security guard saying, hey, tell me something about this city. Tell me what these people love to do here or what they take pride in or whatever it may be. So each city, it's its own little adventure. And of course, like the big cities like Toronto or Philadelphia or Chicago, there's so much material there that it's no sweat. But then sometimes when you're out in the middle of nowhere at a random town in Texas, you got to learn about the locals and what they do there. And I have fun, just as much fun doing that.
Could you write a song bad-mouthing Dvon?
Why?
You have your guitar.
I would never do that.
I'm just saying, could you?
Of course I could.
Why? No.
But I would go after Mo first for even suggesting the idea.
That's fine.
We can hear that.
That's fine.
We can do that too.
Yes.
I'll take it. And
Dvon.
Dvon, I don't know if you know this or not, Elias, but Dvon's a musician too. Were you aware?
What are we talking about here?
I actually play the drums.
The drums.
I've been playing for about 15, almost 20 years now. Have a set behind me. I don't know if you can see
there
it.
we go. Okay.
Yeah, I have a set behind me, and on my Instagram, I usually put it up, and I got guys, the band over here. We usually just jam out, man.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, listen, if we ever cross paths, not backstage, we could jam and have a good time. And
absolutely. I was actually, because you know how Vince is, in terms of, like he wants business first and all of that. So when you were there during the concert and I saw those drums there, I almost was like wanting to get on there and go, Elias, let's do a little something, But I can see Vince now. Dvon, why the hell are you playing the drums and you're not producing your match?
Of course.
So I figured I'd just leave it alone. Maybe one day when the drums are in the back and I'm done doing what I'm doing and we're far away from Vince.
Yeah.
And you have your guitar and we happen to bump into each other, I'm gonna grab you and go, Alliance, come on, get the camera ready. Let's go jam.
Count me in, dude. Count me in. Yep.
Dvon, he plays coy. Dvon is a big music fan. He plays the drums, and I felt the entire time the 46 episodes that we've done Table Talk now that you've been hiding something from us, Dvon. So I did a little bit of research and discovered that before you were a pro wrestler, you attempted to be a musician. And I discovered some old promo shots of you from your music career before wrestling.
Let's see.
I
gotta
see this. Here we go.
What do we got? Yes.
What the hell?
What?
So reaching back to 82, I had to date this one, like carbon dating. You're so old. 82, your Adam Ant phase.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. Wow.
Baby.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Where did our love go?
So that didn't work out for you for obvious reasons. So you decided you were going to adapt to the times. And right before you got into wrestling, ECW hit. You tried the grunge thing.
Okay. Nice.
So a decade later.
Oh God.
Yes, man.
That seems more like.
I feel like I would have listened to you. You were not like mainstream.
Lindsey, you drink. There's something in that wine. If you honestly thought that I was doing grunge, listen to that one. Oh God.
So I do have to wonder, Dvon, is that a nipple on your knee? Why do you have nipple knee?
Well, I mean, I mean, listen, you can do a lot of things with a nipple. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Were you born with that? I don't understand.
Different time, different show. Different time, different show.
Yeah. So after that failed attempt, Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, those bands blew up huge. Dvon decided to become a wrestler, and it kind of worked out for him. So.
Right. I'm glad
I was wondering how that all came about.
You found your calling. That's what you
Oh God, leave it to Mo and Lindsey to expose me for what I truly am, a wannabe musician. And at first I got confused. I wasn't sure if that was Purple Rain or Adam Ant. So I'm glad you said something.
You're like,
I'm not opposed to that look. That's all I'm saying.
So, okay, enough about me. We're going to go on a different subject to our guest, Elias. This new album that's out. What is going on with this album? Is it number one? What's happening? What success are you getting from this?
Yeah.
And what and give me the name and how we can see it.
Sure. Yeah. So the album is called Universal Truth. It is out on iTunes, Spotify. Of course, you could go on YouTube and listen to things like that. And it all adds up, whether you buy it on iTunes, have it on your phone, stream, whatever it may be. But so it was number one. I don't think it currently is. It's still on the charts and it's still up there, but it's been over a week now, and it was number one on the iTunes soundtrack chart. And which I know it kind of sounds interesting, but it knocked Hamilton out of the number one spot, which it had for like it had that for like 4 years. It had the number one spot.
You just broke Lindsey's heart.
You're awesome and I love you, but
yeah. It had the top spot for 4 years. It was time to move on. You know what I mean?
I guess so.
Listen, Elias. Not only did you just break Lindsey's heart with that, but her heart was broken before when Carol Baskin got knocked off of Dancing with
Why
the
do you
Stars.
gotta do that?
And
why gotta bring up stuff like that?
Elias, there was a bet that I said that she would not last past the third round cuts, and of course I won, so she had to dress up in a schoolgirl outfit with tiger underwear on.
Oh wow,
it was great. Oh, there you go. There's your picture. Oh, it was great.
A picture.
So between losing the bet with Carol Baskin and now you knocking him off. Oh, it's great.
I hate you.
Sure.
It's great.
I'm starting to get a good picture of who Lindsey is here now. Loving Carol Baskin, Hamilton.
No, well, Hamilton, yeah. But what? God, no, it's just for the show. It's not me.
Lindsey, she don't know what to do right now.
I do know what to do.
She's got
something in that cup.
Listen, there's something in that cup. Let me tell you that right now. Now, what happens after the show when you finally look at it? That's a totally different story. I mean, you don't want to hang out with Lindsey after that cup.
It's that serious, huh?
Oh, it's that serious.
I got to put up with these two every week. Got to drink my coffee.
Well, Elias, man, listen, we've kept you way before your time, and listen, I want to thank you so much. Just for everything that you have done for this wrestling business, part of the new generation. Because, of course, I'm the old fart. I've been in this business for umpteen years, and
I'm thankful you have been, man.
But guys like you who come in and work hard and determined. I mean, look, you're a very successful wrestling career. You have a number one album that beat Hamilton, which I am very proud of you even more now because it upsets Lindsey.
No, it's amazing though. That is incredible.
Yes, it is incredible. And I mean, could you have seen this coming?
Listen, you're always trying to be the best in whatever you do, right? Like I'm in WWE. I want to be the best wrestler. I want to cut the best promo. I want to have the best matches. And if I'm going to write music, which I got hurt a couple months back. I actually tore my pec. And when I was out, I started writing these songs and I said, okay. And then I reached out to WWE, and I said, I'd like to come back and have this album. They were game for it. They said, let's do it. We'll get you in the studio, get everything together. Wrote these songs, put my whole heart into it, man. And, good things happen. You work hard, put your heart into it. Give it up to God, of course, of all things. And here we go. Here we are, man, #1 album, incredible. And the fact that I can say that, and by the way, I'm going to say that very often on TV when I get the chance. But it's something special, and it's really cool, and it can't be taken away. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's a #1 album on iTunes. Pretty cool, man. Pretty cool.
Well, again, man, congratulations to all your success, both in and out of the ring. And again, it's a pleasure working with you in the ring as well as out of the ring. Yeah. And, again, I mean, just continue success. Where can we find you on social media? How can we get in touch with you?
Sure. Okay. First off, Dvon, thank you for everything in and out of the ring and having me on the show and giving me this opportunity. Great time. Mo, Lindsey, I appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah, I'm sorry I upset you, but
it's okay.
Sometimes you got it. Sometimes
I'm
you just got
upset, but I'm also intrigued. I gotta check this out.
That's the thing about Elias. That's what I do.
Oh man.
But anyways, yeah, you can find me on Twitter. I am Elias WWE. And the same exact name on Instagram, I am Elias WWE. I'm at least reposting quite often if I'm not, posting my own stuff. So, yep, I'm on there.
Now, one question before I let you go. A good friend of mine, Kathy, okay, who is a huge Elias fan, and she said she's definitely going to listen to the show today. When she found out that you were coming on, she wouldn't stop texting me. Right. She goes, "Oh God, Elias." Well, one of her questions is she wants to know if you're single, and if you are, then will you marry her?
Oh,
I'm
wow.
Kathy,
Straight to marriage. I got to meet Kathy
I'm
first,
Kathy, by
because that's a big commitment right now. Maybe a date or something like that first might be in line, but let's take baby steps. I don't want to just jump right in.
All right. Well, I'll give her the news. She loves her some Elias, and when your song went #1, forget about it. You have a diehard fan and a lover if it happens. Okay. So
Kathy, I appreciate Kathy. She knows the universal truth. She knows what WWE stands for, and that's #1 and #2 when I'm looking for a woman. You know what I mean? So.
Well, just know if this actually happens and you two do wind up together and it lasts 20, 30, 40, 50 years, Dvon predicted it.
Dvon did it. Okay.
Elias, thank you so much for coming on the show, my man. And listen, you take care. Again, much success in the ring as well as out of the ring with your album. And we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you all.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
See, we do a little matchmaking here on Table Talk.
That's so cool. Listen, we got to bring Kathy on next.
Absolutely.
Kathy.
Well, hey, Kathy, just so you know.
After the first date,
you owe me big. You owe me big time. Now, I'll take 50s, 20s, 5s. Nothing that jingles. Don't want nothing that jingles.
No dollar bills, so you can make it rain.
Yeah, make it rain. Well, I mean, hold on. Kathy might be taken, so can't make it rain too much.
All this now. When Elias finally gets married, he doesn't have to hire a band to perform. He can pull double duty.
Yeah, well, he might have to.
Byron wants to know, did you ever get a chance to see Hamilton live?
I didn't. I'm one of those people. I didn't even really pay much attention to Hamilton until it came on Disney Plus. Sorry. I'm so basic. It's not even funny.
Is he on YouTube?
Who?
Hamilton.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay.
They recorded a live show back in 2015, and they turned it into a production, and watch it now.
Okay, forgive me for my ignorance because I'm not familiar.
I think Noel would take 9 backs if you're doing matchmaking.
Noel,
we are doing matchmaking?
Hold on. Noel, you're taken. Go away. You're not getting me killed. You gotta love it. Oh gosh. But anyway, listen, before we go into anything else, I just want to say a couple of things. What's going on nowadays in the world with this election, with Joe Biden and President Trump, regardless to who you vote for, regardless to whether it's Joe Biden or whether it's President Trump.
Or Kanye.
Or Kanye. Oh, God.
Yay.
But
Yay 2020.
Absolutely. But I look at it like this. This should never, ever in a million years come in between you and your family. Whatever side you pick, that's politics. You leave it at politics. You don't bring it home. It's almost like bringing your work at home. I've heard so many horror stories from not only people on just social media that I don't know, but family and friends. Just because you pick one side in this presidential race, which, by the way, is going down as one of the most historic races of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you pick one side doesn't mean that you denounce in any way, shape, or form a family member or a loved one. Because when this is all said and done, whoever wins this election will do what he has to do to maintain the presidency, whether it's Joe Biden or President Trump. Their lives will go on. Your life with your family will go on. So continue to love them, honor them, and cherish them. But don't sit there and denounce them or not want to be with them because of the fact that they chose a candidate that you might not be approving of. So the fact of the matter is this: grow up. Understand one thing. When the smoke clears, it's your family and your friends that are going to be with you and take care of you and guide you. Not some nonsense from a political game. Political and religion will always separate people. But if you know that going into this, then why wouldn't you take the time to just relax? Don't take this so seriously and love one another. That's what we need right now. Love, not only from each other, but also with everything that's going on in this world today. We don't need the bickering. We don't need the fighting. We don't need the stabbing in the back. We need healing. This is what this country needs. So regardless, when we find out who wins the presidency, remember that before you go on the tirade and want to disown everybody who didn't agree with you and your beliefs. I'm done.
Amen.
Whew.
Reverend Dvon is in the house, you guys.
Where's that towel? Wipe off.
Good.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I had things to say, but I don't even know anymore.
It's so sad.
The only thing I wanted to tag on is that, yes, but whoever you want, I mean, people are, they're very committed to this election. However, the president is not the say all for what happens in this country, right? I mean, I don't know a lot about politics, but I know it has to go through certain stages for things to happen.
Exactly.
So just because this person is president doesn't mean, things can't be different. I don't know.
Are we looking for the counter argument, or are we moving on?
I'm not a good debater. I'm not good at that stuff, and I'm just gonna.
Because we do have somebody in the comments that disagrees.
With me?
So, no, with what Dvon's saying, which we can go down that route, or we can move on.
We're here to distract from everything going on.
Yeah,
I'm asking.
Listen, I think we just need to heal. I think we just need to be, like I said, on one accord with one another. I'm not going to separate my family, my loved ones, just because you have your belief and I have my belief. You just don't do things like that, So regardless to what people might say, whether I lose fans or not, that is the truth. Because at the end of the day, guess what? You're not running the country. You're not doing anything. It's those people in Washington that's going to be doing that. And yes, we do have a voice, and yes, we do have a say. But at the end of the day, how much do we have a say? This is why so many politicians get in trouble in the first place, because things that they say they're going to fight for, they don't usually fight for. And then when it comes to election, then all sorts of promises are made. I'm just going to say this, and then I'll stop and we can move on. It's not just one side, a Republican or a Democrat, that lies or makes empty promises. They both do. Every politician does. That's why they're politicians. We all know that. So therefore, again, love your family, love your friends. Stop doing this BS. It's ridiculous already. Separating this country is not going to bring us any closer to being happy. We're dealing with a pandemic, and then on top of that, everything else that we're dealing with. Come on, guys. Regardless, we need to heal, not be apart.
Yeah, everybody, let's be united.
Yeah. What he said.
With our picture of Lindsey.
Hey.
Everybody come together.
Hey.
Come together right
Lindsey.
now. for me.
Uh,
All right.
okay.
Enough of that BS.
How
All
are you
right,
guys doing? How's the weather?
So we're talking about
How-
trying to erase that stuff, right? Erase the hate and erase like the division between everybody. On a more lighthearted note, if you could go back in time and disinvent something, what would you choose? So, for example, I found this topic on Reddit over the course of the weekend. Somebody would disinvent TikTok because it's annoying.
Hmm. Oh, wow.
Somebody would disinvent
That's
the
so
Snuggie
good.
because it's
The-
ridiculous.
The
No, it's
Snuggie.
not. Who said that? Oh,
Somebody on Reddit. I'm sorry, I didn't get their name.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
you should.
It was Elias.
Oh,
What?
wow.
I thought I liked you. You know
A
what?
lot of people, so I did this on my radio show, and a lot of people said social media, and that certainly has not helped with any divide. People
Mhm.
get, as Dvon knows, being a celebrity, people get real tough behind their keyboard, behind their touchpad, and
Oh,
then
God, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's one of the things that I hate. To me, it's ruined so much. I mean, think about it. Like, even with pro wrestling, you know, we got to be so secretive. We got to be so, because in terms of how we want to surprise people on the shows and things like that, because they let it out. You know, they go out there, they say, you want to know the spoiler or what's going to happen, you know, because the matches were taped. I mean, come on, man. Seriously. I remember back in the day as a kid, I'll give you a prime example. Hulk Hogan coming back after Rocky 3, making Rocky 3, coming back to the WWE, and Bob Backlund is in the ring with the Wild Samoans and Captain Lou Albano on the outside. And I think Backlund had a match with one of the Samoans. I can't remember which one it was. And of course, the other two kept interfering and causing problems for Backlund. Backlund said, hold on, wait 1 minute. Runs in the back, comes out, and here comes Hulk Hogan. And it was like almost the start of Hulkamania, and it all started from there. The way that place erupted when he came out, one thing, Rocky 3, number 2, his AWA run, okay, and
Mhm.
number 3, just how charismatic as Hogan was, and all that charisma. So my thing is this: could you imagine back then if we had social media and they knew Hogan was on in the back? That would have been spoiled. So my thing is this: why? Why spoil it for the fans? You know, let it play out. And then, like you said, Mo, everybody wants to get so tough on social media. Oh, I'll kick your ass. I'll do this. Wait till I see you, Dvon. And then all of a sudden, you know, I see them and it's just like, oh, hey, Dvon, what's up, man? Love your TLC matches. Oh, I think it's great.
Oh, do you?
Oh, great. And then it was great because somebody called one of these guys out. I think it was either his sister or his girl. I can't remember what it was. And she was just like, oh, weren't you the one that said Dvon sucked and this and that and blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, is that right? Oh, no, Dvon, she's joking. She's joking. She goes, no, you didn't. You did it late yesterday on social media. I mean, just oust them out. But you know, that's one of the things that's so, you know, and us as athletes, and I'm not just saying pro wrestlers, but in general, they're so quick to type on that keyboard and tell us what we're doing wrong, what we're not doing right. But yet you're home, and I love to say this: you're home in your parents' basement, waiting for her to call you upstairs to eat your macaroni and cheese and take it back to your dungeon so you can go back downstairs and look at what we do for a living and then analyze every little thing because they couldn't do it themselves. And if you could, then you would have a contract and then you would be in that ring or you'd be on that basketball court or that football field
Or they just didn't
doing
want to.
what we do. And yep, and my thing is this. You keep hiding behind the keyboard and doing what you're doing because the more negative things you say about us, the more people would want to hear it, and you give us the limelight.
Well, thank you, John,
Yes.
for streaming us today. Dvon is definitely all sorts of worked up today. I think his answer for a disinvention would be social media. Lindsey.
Is that what the question was?
Yeah. What would?
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I was a little lost.
Sorry, Lindsey.
I have two. Can I have two?
Yeah, absolutely.
My first disinvention would be crickets, God creating crickets. That'd be great. And then the second one is more for my side of the is just bras.
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm just
whoa,
sitting
hey,
here and
what?
it's just uncomfortable.
Bras?
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to wear bras. You know that,
I
right?
understand, but I do now. I do,
You don't-
but I
you don't
don't.
have
But I
to.
do. I
You
know.
don't have to.
I know, but I
mean,
do.
I mean, think about it. You don't have. Mo, would you agree? I mean,
If they
don't
were
have
never
to.
invented, I didn't have to, but they
No.
were, so I have to.
No, you don't have to. Who's
Yeah.
making you? How old are you? Who's making you?
I'm
You
not
live by
telling
yourself?
you.
Exactly. You don't have to. You don't have to.
Hi, Jaden. Okay, Mo, what you got?
So I have two as well. One would be pants. I just don't like wearing pants. So
Pants and bras, man.
yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh, you
if I
two are hot
remember-
today.
Clothes
There's a
and
lot of
shit.
guys saying, Lindsay, you don't have to wear one.
Ah,
But
see?
you know, but there's a thing that I do because of society. I'm not gonna like, but it's just you don't want it. Okay, go ahead, Mo.
Society sucks.
Agree.
Well, that is true. No, I would disinvent the FCC.
Okay. Okay.
Just the censorship and the idea, like, hey, I'm on a rock radio station. There's a lot of curse words in the rock songs. We gotta censor all of them. We gotta.
They don't make sense. They don't make sense when you censor them.
We gotta censor even like the little things, just in case we don't want these old biddies to be offended when they hear the song. You know, it's like it bothers me that we have to edit that art that people are creating, which I would have loved to be able to get Elias's thought on that as a songwriter himself. But and then on the air, TV can say shit and some other words now, but on the air, on the radio, I still can't say any of that stuff. And I just
I can't believe you just said that on air.
why can't? Well, Dvon did earlier, so it's okay. He did it first.
Hold on. I like the way Lindsey did that. Watch this. Shit. I love it. Love it.
Was that what I don't know what you said? That was the reaction.
That's what I was doing. Oh, I love it.
Children might hear you, Dvon. But then they will be corrupt and be bad
Daniel's
people.
got a suggestion for you there, Lindsay. Hire a nipple lackey with durable arms just to hold the entire time during the show.
Okay.
Mm.
Oh, during the show.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I like his way
I'm
of
not
thinking.
gonna ask if there's any volunteers. I'm just not gonna do it.
There are any volunteers to help Lindsay out? Sorry, you don't have to ask. We'll do it for you.
Her hands.
Guys, they need to.
Wait a minute. Her hands are taken, so she
There's a
can't do it.
Yeah, she might need two interns, the other one just to help her knock them back. Keep it refilled.
Gotta love it. Got to love
What is happening?
it. Not much. Not yet.
Do you think the FCC will ever go away? Where's the application? No.
I already put in my application.
The counterpoint, the censored version of Beelzebub from Pick of Destiny is funny. The uncensored. I will agree with that. I do think that's funny. Great underrated movie by Tenacious D. In case my co-hosts don't know what we're talking about here, and I will say, the Bloodhound Gang, "Fire, Water, Burn" is a song that they actually add goat sounds to it instead of cursing,
I love it.
and it makes the song so much better. But those are very few exceptions, and there's always exceptions.
Okay.
Much like not everybody's role when they write Dvon, there's exceptions. And Lindsay may not hate 100% of bras, just 99% of them.
That's good. Hey, that's better for me because if it's 99, that means there's one left. So that means chances are she won't be part of that 1%.
There is a petition. I wasn't going to bring this up, but since we're already talking about it, there is a petition that a woman started that if women have to wear bras in public, overweight dudes should have to as well.
Whoa, this is true. I mean, think about it. When you get a 500-pound plus guy who basically have bigger boobs than Lindsay.
Yeah, why does he have to why do I have to cover up if he doesn't have to?
I've seen some of the wrestling fans that come through that door, and it's not pretty. It's oof.
I'm not gonna lie, some of the wrestlers too. I remember
And this is our
like
last
the ECW,
episode
the
of Table Talk.
WWE ECW run.
Yeah.
Wearing like the suspenders.
Yes. God
His
rest
boob was
his soul.
bigger than my head.
Oh, really?
Try lifting them up. Good God. Great. I mean, God rest his soul. But Ooh, man, but I tell you what, he helped me out a lot. He goes, Dvon, he goes, you're gonna 3D me, you and Bubba. I go, what? I go, dude, you're about 500 pounds. He goes, don't worry, I'll get up. And true to his word, he got up.
Mhm.
He got up, made me look like Superman. And when people ask me to this day, I'm exposing myself right now. And when people ask me, you know, today, hey, did you really pick up this? I'm like, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yes, it did.
So yeah, underwire is the devil.
Yes. Thank you.
I get that I hear that from a lot of women. A lot of women hate those wires. That's something.
Do you talk to a lot of women about their boobs and their bras?
Well, it was always seemed to be a subject. I always came in at the right time. I got great, impeccable timing. I'm going to let you know that right now.
Okay.
I always seem to come in when a group of women are talking, okay, whether it be in the back in WWE or even in restaurants, what have you. Or hell, even with friends of mine, you know, whatever. I always
People at the airport.
People at the airport. I'm always charming in. Hey, the freaking divas. What do you call it? The divas show that comes on. Me and Bubba just happened to be. I forgot what it was. Natty actually. We were sitting down. We were in catering, and they were filming the divas, and I just remember I wasn't even paying attention. And their table was right next to us, but we weren't on camera. You know, they were able to adjust the camera to they didn't get me and Bubba. So then Natty just went, "Isn't that right, Dvon?" And I just went, "Huh?" I turned around and she went, "Just say yes." And I just went, "Yeah, I love it." And then one of the Bella twins called me out. She goes, "What? You don't even know what's going on." So all of a sudden, I just kind of like just made up something. And Natty goes, "You see, Dvon was listening." And I go, "Yes." So I just happened to come in at the right time. But then I really enjoyed myself because I found out that just appearing on that show when they're doing stuff like that, I get $500 every time I'm on there. So I made sure I'd follow Natty around to make sure she could ask me questions.
Nice.
That was great.
I was supposed to be on that show once.
Yes,
really?
I thought she was joking until I saw what do you call it? A residual from it.
Yeah.
It was
You were
great.
so I'm the only one that it's never, had a chance to be on that show.
Well, you can. I mean, you are a diva. There's no question about that, Lindsey. You are.
I mean, I was supposed to, but it didn't happen. So at Wizard World at Comic-Con for a couple of years, I was the moderator for the Bella Twins.
Oh, were you?
Oh, cool.
I became friends with Nikki and Bree. Great women.
Yeah, they are great girls. I love them, and congratulations too on the birth of their kids. I love it. Fantastic women.
Yeah,
love them.
I just remember that they were scheduled for a show in Reno, which was not one of Wizard World's better attended shows, but they were scheduled for Reno for a birthday bash, and they were going to host a Playboy themed birthday party. And I was invited, and I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll go for that. And then told them
my dreams have just
partying in Reno. No, we're gonna switch that. So they moved the tapings. They canceled their appearance at the show, and I could not get out of it because that was how I made my living. So I couldn't go to New York City to be a part of their relocated party.
Oh God, I know you were just
so close.
About it.
I was in Reno, which there's nothing against Reno, but there's not much to do there. So
no, there isn't. I've been there once. It's kind of like a smaller version of Vegas. You know, they run out of casinos and hotels. Oh God, it's nice. Don't get me wrong, but like you said, there's really nothing to do there.
Nice-ish.
Nice-ish. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take your word for it.
More because you got better food, you got the shows, you got like the derpy mascots that want $1 if you take a picture with them. Reno that.
Listen, my thing is if you can't make it to Vegas, Reno is the best thing, and then if you can't make it to Reno, then what do you call it? Atlantic City would be the third.
Yeah, and
I made it to Vegas.
Dvon's house. Maybe you'll catch him and Elias jamming sometime.
Oh, you might. I might have to have him over here. He lives in Florida. I live in Florida, so we're not that far from each other. So you might get that. You might get it. It might happen.
I'll be waiting for it.
Yes.
On your Instagram.
Yes, it's coming.
I was trying to see where this was. Okay, yeah. So I wanted to go back to this one from the John who just flushed his watching out of here. This episode started with a lot more appreciation than last week's episode with R-Truth.
I was going to say the same thing, but I didn't because I didn't want to take away from what was happening. But yes, I was going to say that. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. What about last week's episode?
We didn't have an episode last week. What are you talking
Wait,
about?
was I here last week? I don't.
You didn't like the episode with R-Truth? How could you not?
Just said that this episode this week started with more appreciation.
In terms of with R-Truth, it was totally the opposite.
Like you're like, kissing up to Elias, and then Elias is kissing up to you. Last week it was like boom right away.
There's a reason for that. Truth touches me in places I don't want to be touched. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Ah, crap. You're right.
Yeah, he does.
I didn't ask Elias when Dvon's making a return to the ring.
Good, because it's not happening, Byron.
I'll answer for him.
No, you won't.
Yes, he will.
Just because, you know what? Just because Pittsburgh,
my beard.
just because the Pittsburgh Steelers won one game, now all of a sudden he thinks that he's can ask any question. By the way, Byron, Pittsburgh sucks.
Woo! Aren't they undefeated though? I mean,
I don't think they're undefeated. I can tell you what, they're doing 10 times better than the Jets. The Jets are better. I don't even think the Jets are winning a game. I'm embarrassed to say I'm a Jet fan. Good God.
Yay, sports balls.
Ugh. I need some of Lindsey's cup.
I'm going to try to stall and stretch this out for a moment.
Here we go.
Because I just texted Elias, and I'm like, all right, I forgot to ask on the air. Do you think Dvon will unretire?
No, that's not fair. You should have did that because now I can't respond. That's not right.
You can. You can respond on here.
Not with Elias on. No, he needs to be on. You cannot ask the person once they're gone.
We live in a society where we can, Dvon.
Yes.
If she can go braless in this society, I can ask Elias a question and you can't.
But can I?
You can if you want, but you don't.
Because of society? Oh my God.
You can't.
Too deep.
You won't. See? I'm
Jets
offended.
don't win the game, Dvon should have to work a match.
If the Jets don't win a game?
Yeah.
No. I'm not taking that bet.
Why? Because you are worried that it is true.
Well, I'm worried that they might just pull one out before the season ends. You just never know with the Jets. But you know what? I guarantee. I tell you one thing about this is that if they do go winless, they will definitely have the number 1 draft pick.
Sports
sports ball. That's one of the great things about being last. That's the one thing. But then again, here's what I think. If you get the number 1 draft, which is great, but that doesn't mean it's going to change the team. You're going to have to get the number 1 draft, plus revamp everybody on there that didn't bring you success before. Because not just one person, unless you're Michael Jordan, you're going to be able to come in. Yep. You're going to be able to come in and change.
Michael B. Jordan. Not Killmonger from Black Panther.
No, the star of Space Jam.
Okay. All right. There you go. Yeah.
I got you.
Good God, Lindsey.
Oh, wait. Probably should be.
Wow. Well, you're lucky this time, Dvon. We got to wrap up the show, and Elias has not responded. So
fantastic. He's probably jamming, so we don't need to ask him anymore.
We'll let you guys know, though.
If he does answer, follow us at Wrestling Audio on the socials, and I will let everybody know the answer is.
Of course you will.
I'll retweet.
Of course you will. Of course.